Hello, I'm Shannon with Waffle Flower, and I'm here at Scrapbook.com sharing with you guys how to create this fun watercolor background card with our brand new Spice Pot stamp set. We're going to start with an A2 panel of watercolor paper, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to use some distress inks. We're going to apply these inks directly to our watercolor panel. I'm going to start with a light color in the middle. I'm just going to eyeball the center. And like I was saying, direct to paper, press the ink pad down. Now I'm going to grab a different color. I'm using green inks today because our focal image is this beautiful little pot with some herbs in it. I'm going to go directly next to where I stamped that first color. This is cracked pistachio. If not enough ink comes out, you can press it a couple times. And keep going. I have 6 different distress inks, and like I was saying, they're all green. And they'll look really pretty when they're mixed together. And I'm going to stamp a 3 by 4 rectangle with these little ink cubes. This color is Pine Needles, a really nice dark green. And each one of these greens will be stamped twice. I'm going to move back to my Twisted Citron. Now that we have the background panel all stamped, we are going to spray it with some water, and this is going to activate that ink so it moves and spreads over the panel and basically creates your watercolor background all by itself. I'm going to hold it kind of far away to get it going. Kind of spray the whole panel, and then I can move a little closer with the spray bottle if there's any areas that aren't quite moving and mixing like I like. So that looks pretty good. You can also use a paintbrush to kind of adjust, possibly mix the colors a little bit more, or spread them out a little bit more to the edges. Just do some fine tuning if you like with the paintbrush. And now I'm just going to let that dry, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now that our panel is dry, I went ahead and trimmed it down just a 1/4 inch on the side, so it's a little bit smaller now than an A2 panel, so a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have our card base here. As you can see, it's just going to create a nice little border where you can see the card base, kind of frames it up. But before we add this to our card, we're going to stamp our image on this background. I like to use a stamp positioning tool, so I have the ability to stamp my image twice because sometimes this watercolor paper can affect your impression, so it is helpful to use something where you can stamp the image multiple times. Just going to put our panel into the stamp positioner. Grab our cute Spice Pot image, as well as the sentiment. Once centered, we'll fold the platform over, pick up our stamps, and I'm going to ink up these images with archival ink. Then press it down. Just do some firm pressure all over the stamp. And we'll open it up here and see how it went. So you can see we do need to stamp it another time, or ink it up and stamp it another time. Just fold it over and then apply pressure all over the stamp. Okay. Now that our image is stamped, we're going to remove our panel, grab our card base, and just use some liquid glue to adhere it down. I like to use liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room to kind of adjust my panel and make sure I get it perfectly straight. And that'll complete our card. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message.